Hello, hello, hello. Alright, I'm doing a new audio setup because I was having a lot of hissing issues because my computer's fan is very loud. So there's going to be a little fiddling around. I did test everything earlier, but I'm probably still going to play around with some levels in the beginning a bit, so you'll just have to bear with me. This is going to be a little bit more relaxed than maybe some of my other streams. It's kind of like a flip of what the normal plan is, because normally Mondays and Wednesdays, when I stream, those are sort of the more legit ones, quote unquote, like it's like longer form content. I go in with like a very specific vibe, and we just talk for usually an hour and a half. And then Fridays are the chiller streams. For context, Friday I wasn't originally planning on streaming because I had completely forgotten that the Grammys were happening this past weekend. The moment I realized it, I was just like, oh shit, okay, well, I definitely have to cover it. So I like scrambled a whole slideshow, quote unquote, together. It wasn't even a slideshow, but that's kind of like the only thing I can kind of call it, I guess. And I was like, okay, Friday, like we have to do Grammy predictions for Sunday, right? Like I want to sort of immortalize how wrong I am on the internet. And I figured instead of just doing like a massive Twitter thread, which I guess I still did anyway, because I figured nobody wanted to watch an almost 3-hour video. You might as well just get like, you know, the highlights, I guess. So I did end up taking screenshots from that stream. But instead of just doing like, you know, like the predictions and saying who I want to win and whatnot, I was like, nope, I'm gonna do a full video on it and talk about it at length, because why not? It turns what normally is like maybe like an hour 45 minutes to an hour stream on Fridays to almost 3 hours, and I was very tired by the end of it. It was a lot of me wrestling with myself over what I was even what I was even rooting for. Hang on, we're gonna switch to just chatting for a sec. Just because as much as I love my girl Olivia, we gotta give the other girls some credit tonight as well. The other girls. So music is a bit loud. Alright, I'll bring it down. Okay, how's it now? I saw that it was like it was a lot earlier. It just when I went back to look through the VODs this past week, the music was so quiet, or at least it seemed kind of quieter than I wanted it to be. But I'm hoping I didn't blow anybody's eardrums out. Is it better? When you say it was loud, was it more like it was washing me out, or was it like actually hurting you? Because if it was hurting your ears, I'm very sorry. I was just mostly trying to like mask the humming that's kind of in the background of my room right now. To be like 100% transparent about it. It was drowning out your voice. Okay. But it sounds better now. I can still tweak it a little bit more if it gets to be an issue. Um I don't know how to say Caxips. Is it okay if I just call you Cax? I'm hoping that's not like secretly like a slur that I just said on stream. But hello, yes, goat. Yes, it's perfect. Okay, sounds good. Um, yeah, so we'll do like a quick recap of my predictions as we go through. I think I did better at them than I thought I would, which I was definitely happy about. I was prepared for a lot of them to be super wrong, but it's kind of funny because there were a couple categories that I thought that we had in the bag personally. Like best music video, I was fairly certain it was gonna go to like Montero. At least I'm pretty sure that's what I put down. Just because like, I mean, not that the other music videos weren't iconic, because they are. I was kind of surprised that Olivia went with the Good For You music video as her submission, but at the same time, I guess it does kind of have the most visual style. But I'm definitely not mad at I'm not mad at the decision. Here's the thing, because so I still haven't decided on like what the title of this is when I upload it. If it ends up being kind of clickbaity, I guess it's probably good for me to say pretty early on that I'm mostly just joking. I actually I actually really enjoyed We Are. It's been a while since I listened to it. It's not in my rotation as much as like Planet Her or Sour or even Montero. But like I still stand by it. I think if you were here for like the last stream, if you are a fan of early Janelle Monáe, or honestly even current Janelle Monáe, if you're a Janelle Monáe fan, and you also just like sort of like the old sort of sound and sort of vintage funk pop a little bit, even though it's the album kind of spans like a lot of different genres, you will probably like the Jon Batiste record. Like there's a reason why he was nominated for like 11 awards last night. He is a very talented musician, and I'm overall I'm not mad that he won Album of the Year. Let me start off with that there, because even though I didn't predict it, which maybe I should have after, because I finished the list before I had seen how many things he actually was nominated for. I just knew who was nominated for a lot. I don't think I knew the exact number at the time. If I had known that, I might have considered like that being like the album pick. But I was very wrong. I was trying very hard to manifest certain choices, but as you will see in a sec when we go through. But I just wanted to get that out of the way there, that I like congratulate the dude. I think the album's great. I think the music video for Freedom is great. Even if I don't agree with like the Academy's choice specifically, it's still a good video. Like there are definitely worse there are definitely worse picks. There were only like a couple as far as like the categories that we covered on stream specifically, there were only a couple that I didn't love winning. But it was kind of more of like I don't want to say like a personal vendetta thing. I just want to say that like I used to be like a pretty big Ye fan in the past, in spite of certain views, but I think over time it's just become like more and more insufferable. I really did not like a lot of the comments he made sort of during a specific presidency, not to get too political with it, but at the same time, like it was a lot, and I think just the whole cycle around Donda in general has been very frustrating with me, especially when I think about some of the people that have been like brought onto the project, specifically like Marilyn Manson. I'm not a fan of DaBaby at this point, and then on top of that, all of like the news about the Kim and Kanye divorce, which again, not a thing I'm gonna get into. That's their own business. It's probably traumatizing enough that it has to be this public. I can't imagine what it's like for either of them, or especially for the kids. But at the same time, just like, does that mean I'm going to excuse his behavior just because I feel bad for him? Absolutely not. I think it's incredibly inappropriate. And because of that, I personally have a hard time separating the art from the artist. So it's why I personally was not supporting Donda in any of the categories it was nominated in. In some cases, I may have been actively manifesting against it, but I mean, congrats, I guess, on the wins that I at least remember off the top of my head that you have. What else? Oh yeah, also, I guess we'll get it off the top. I don't know how many people know about Louis CK. I did not think he deserved Best Comedy Album, like, point blank period. And it's like, I know people are really tired of talking about the slap at the Oscars at this point. That's perfectly fair. Some of the memes are getting pretty tired, and at this point, people are tying in a bunch of pretty unrelated projections, I feel anyway, to something and making it kind of bigger than it is. But when I see sort of the projects that are pulling out like underneath him and the deals that are backing out, and just sort of how people are treating Will now, it's like, I know cancel culture is like such a trigger word for a lot of people, but like, I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a double standard happening right now where I feel like Will Smith is being pretty harshly treated. Not that I condone violence or anything, but when I think about how other people have gotten away with much worse, if anything, they're still lauded figures today. I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me that somebody who supposedly was a victim of cancel culture like Louis CK has continued to be able to have a career. I don't want to get like too deep into it, besides the fact that, just to say that I don't love it. I don't love that he won the Grammy for Best Comedy Album. And then I mostly said that because I want to at least talk about the closest thing to like an upset I had from last night, because ultimately I didn't walk away from last night's ceremony like mad or anything. To be honest, I haven't in a while, just because I don't take the Grammy super seriously. It's more of a like, it's fun to watch the performances and it's fun to watch your faves win, but if they don't win, it's not the biggest deal in the world to me. I know other people feel differently about that, and that's perfectly understandable. I completely acknowledge the racist history that not just like the Recording Academy, but like a lot of academies have had when it comes to how they treat their nominees and if they even nominate artists of color and black artists. Like, I fully acknowledge that those things are shitty, and that's a perfectly valid reason to not tune in or to not want to care about it anymore, or to not want to give it any of your time. That's perfectly understandable. I think if that's the case, this probably isn't the stream for you, because this is like all we're going to be talking about. But on Wednesday and probably Friday, we will be moving off of Grammy subjects, so if you want to tune in, feel free. If you're watching this in the future, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/Girl Next Door Podcast. Feel free to come through. We don't always talk about the Grammys or the Oscars or the slap. I'm sure y'all are going to be tired of it after this because I will be talking at length about it. But just like come through and vibe. And I love hearing other people's opinions about literally whatever. That's kind of a big reason why I do this, is just because I like to talk about stuff. I like to talk about stuff like for way too long. With that being said, we will jump into, I guess I can say reacting to the winners, but kind of not really. I get maybe more of like a score sheet, I guess, because there was like a tiny part of me that was ready to go full like content creator and like pretend to, well, okay, maybe this is a mean accusation. I was a little bit ready to like consider faking like finding out all of these winners for the first time. I know, boo, tomato. It's like super corny. That's why I decided against it. I'm not an actor, and I can't fake like a reaction. I've known who the winners are like for almost 24 hours at this point, so it's like we might as well. I can still talk about it and hopefully be engaging about it without the core appeal being reacting to something for the first time. It also just made it easier for me to think about how I wanted to grade my score sheet, I guess. I'm still kind of like split about how I want to do it. So basically, as far as the major categories are concerned, I only did 16. One, because it would have taken way too long to make a bunch of diagrams for it. Two, I just wanted to focus on categories that I felt the most acquainted with. Like, I think it would be pretty disingenuous for me to like talk about a category or have like a reaction to like a winner for something that I didn't listen to, especially if it's a genre I didn't listen to a lot. I might go through like a couple that I at least thought were cool or thought should have won, I guess, as we go along. Like, for example, for I did want Kali Uchis to win for the project she put out last year. I was a little sad to see it, but at the same time, like it is what it is, you know. I'm just ready for whatever next project she has going on. So for the start, oh yeah, also one more thing, and then I swear I will have some semblance of order. The way I have everything laid out in this document is based off of the Wikipedia article. I thought about rearranging it in a way that like made it maybe like a little bit more fun as we go along, but it's but I don't know. I feel like this was kind of an easier way to organize it. So we're gonna start off with record of the year, then it's gonna go with album of the year. I have 4 different what's the word I'm looking for? 4 different selections, I guess, with different mindsets when I go in with them, and we're going to be grading based off of mostly based off of who I think will win, but then there's also who I want to win, so someone that like I'm manifesting. Sometimes those 2 artists like are the same. That's going to affect grading a bit. Then there's who I wouldn't mind winning. That's kind of more of a just like, it's like, yeah, they were fine. I guess. No, there are some cases where it's just like I really like something else, and I would be okay if it won, but I don't see it sort of winning, I guess. So that would kind of go in the would be okay with winning tier. And then at the very bottom there's the dear God please no. If there is a If there's somebody that I have in the Dear God Please No, or if I'm just straight up wrong, I will be subtracting points. Ooh, I wonder okay, so now I'm changing my mind as I'm going along. Should I like, if I have someone in the Dear God Please No category and they win, should I like do a -2 instead of a -1? We're being like absolutely rude to ourselves tonight. Friday night when I was doing this, I also want to clarify that if I could, I would have put more artists in the Who I Want to Win category. Like, just because I only have one person there doesn't mean that I don't think the others deserve to win. I just feel like the challenge was sort of more fun if you only get to choose one. The reality is like, as far as like record of the year is concerned, for example, with this, I like basically everybody in this category, except like I really only just don't like Peaches, but everyone else is like fine. It's like they're either fine or I really like them. So I want to get that out of the way, that like just because that like your fave wasn't like or whatever in the Who I Want to Win, it's, well, one, it's an opinion, so if that bothers you, then like you're in the wrong place. But two, it's like I probably share the same opinion. I probably still like your fave as well. But for record of the year, the Grammy went to, hang on, this will be the other fun part, is I'm like split up against two screens, so I can't always tell if who's like in frame properly or not. But that's all right. We're figuring it out. So we have Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic. They won all 4 that they were nominated for last night. I know that's true because like because Andy said that in his speech, which is like definitely a flex. I'll hand it to them. I'm not surprised that Leave the Door Open won this category, because record of the year is sort of just because there is like sort of a confusion between record of the year and song of the year. The commonality between them is like, yes, it's like only based off of like one song, but record of the year focuses sort of holistically with like not just the performers, like the vocalists, but like producers, engineers, the session musicians that go in, like everybody is credited under record of the year. So it's kind of more based on like the craftsmanship of it. So because of that, it's just like, okay, well, for me, the obvious choice for that probably would have been Leave the Door Open, just because I feel like it's a very layered and textured and well put together vintage pop song. Well, maybe I shouldn't call it pop, but you know what I mean. Like, it stays like very true to that traditional formula for the genre it's emulating, but it also still brings enough modernity into it to stay fresh, at least in my opinion. So because of that, I was just like, oh yeah, it was like a no-brainer that it was going to be record of the year. I did have differing opinions about Song of the Year, because Song of the Year is for the songwriters, and I'm not saying it's not a well-written song. I just think when I think about Leave the Door Open, I think more of like the craftsmanship and the musicianship of it than the writing, if that makes any sense. Like, I think about like the vocal performance and everything with that, and for me, Song of the Year is like going to be a lot more about, I guess, if the writing was like on a level that I personally saw was like the best out of everybody in the category. And for me, I felt like there were other choices. I'm still not mad at them winning, obviously, because I do think that song is a bop. It's not my favorite off of the album. I'm interested to see if it's nominated for Album of the Year at the next Grammys, because I know the reason why Leave the Door Open was the only submission for this year, in that they weren't nominated for Best New Artist, is because of the deadline for like the Grammy cutoffs. But now that the full album is out, I'm wondering if they're gonna try and shoot for An Evening with Silk Sonic being Album of the Year, or at the very least be in any of the R&B categories. But I guess we won't know until down the road. So the next category, if it wants to load, LOL, is Album of the Year. And I was wrong with this one. I'm okay with being wrong with it. I mean, obviously, because at the end of the day, I still very much enjoyed We Are as a project. It's just I I was really manifesting Sour and Planet Her, and like Montero too. I Not that I had anything against like Happier Than Ever or Evermore. I think anybody who knows me personally knows how much of an Evermore girly I am. It's kind of sad. It's kind of basic, but I mean, it's just like I thought about putting Evermore in the Would Be Okay With because I know how much like the Grammys love Taylor, but I was like, no, I want to. If I'm like going with my gut, I figured it was gonna be like the one of those three, and it wasn't any of them. So because of that, we are subtracting one. I might change it now to -2 if they were in the Dear God Please No, and then the 1, because there are a couple that I had in Dear God Please No. And I don't know, like I think, yeah, no, I think that might be what I do. So you're gonna have to excuse me like playing around with like the document in a bit, because it is coming up. But for Song of the Year, we once again have Leave the Door Open. Again, I'm not mad at that pick, personally. But I really thought it'd be Driver's License, to be honest, though. And here's why. I know that they don't. The mission statement like says that when they are choosing from like the nominees, that it's not based off of charts, it's not based off of sales, they're looking at like the craftsmanship of it, and that's all well and good, but I'm just like, I feel like they have to acknowledge sort of like the cultural elements of all the songs too, and that to me, that also like involves charts in a sense. Like, this isn't to say that like only really popular songs are allowed to win this category. It's definitely not what I'm getting at. But when I look at sort of the power that Driver's License had for catapulting Olivia into superstardom, it's, for me, that feels, on top of the song being good, I feel like that's makes it Grammy worthy. So that's why I doubled down on it, which meant that I was double wrong. I mean, I get that she was already had like popularity with Disney and everything, like High School Musical, the musical, the series, but I think there were a lot of people like me who didn't have Disney Plus at the time that show started, so I didn't really have a connection to her like in that show, because I didn't even know that she was in that show when like the when I heard the song for the first time. I'm trying to think of where I heard it first. I think I was on Anthony Fantano's stream. He was doing like a New Music Friday, and everybody was telling him, was like, you gotta listen to Driver's License, and then he didn't like it. So he didn't even play the full song, so I was just like, okay, well, I want to hear the rest, and then I did. I loved it, obviously, enough to double down on it. I love I think if I wasn't gonna go with Driver's License, I definitely would have said Leave the Door Open for sure. I probably would have put Kiss Me More as well. But I don't know. I was really confident in doubling down on Driver's License. I figured it was gonna be like, a Royals situation with like her her pop music godmother lord. But sadly, no, that was not the case. But it's okay, because for Best New Artist, Olivia won. Also, yeah, I kind of got pretty lazy with doing like the Best New Artist category. But to be fair, there was a lot of people, and not everybody had like a good sized photo for me to to just like copy and paste in here. I know that's definitely comes off as like just straight up laziness, but it's the truth. Also, I did promise last stream, because I felt very bad at not being able to pronounce her name. Arouge Aftab, I believe is how her name is pronounced. I did Google it. I felt so bad last stream, like not knowing how to say her name. And then it's not even that hard to pronounce. I'm just like kind of a culturally unaware idiot, which what else is new? But I think they won actually something last night. In one of the categories, right? Let me double check. Yeah, she became the first Pakistani singer to win a Grammy. So she did win, but what category did she do though? Best Global Performance. Okay. I still haven't listened to that song. I will definitely check it out after stream. Because I think that's cool. But yeah, moving on. So for Best Pop Solo Performance, we are continuing my streak, thank God, for a driver's license. Okay, to be fair, I would have doubled down. I honestly would have doubled down for driver's license in this category too, but I really just, I love Positions. I feel like, I can't say she's underrated, obviously, because she's still like a very, very popular record. And like she still gets a ton of airplay off of the album. But when I think of like how a lot of the fan base reacted to it when it dropped, I was just like, y'all are uncultured. Like, no, but I get it. It's like not everybody's speed. I just loved that Ari was able to sort of finally, well, I say finally, but I guess maybe her first album had tinges of like exploring R&B, but this felt like the furthest into R&B she's gotten into in her career, even if it's not like a purely like R&B record. It like you can't deny that like her influences are pretty strong on it, and because of that, I mean, I've always been manifesting R&B Anna, so I was going to stand Positions no matter what. Because of that, I also well, it's a later category. I did sort of put that in the I would want to win for pop vocal album, but I'm still okay with like who actually did win. Now for best pop duo / group performance, I was so happy to see Kiss Me More. I doubled down on this one because I mean, to be honest, if I look at the rest of the category, with like the people nominated, there wasn't anybody that like I hated. I'll be honest, and again, I'm gonna preface this like I did last time by saying I am ARMY, okay? Don't come at me, I'm not a BTS hater. I love BTS, I just feel like they could have done better than Butter. That being said though, the live performance did sort of shift my opinion about it a little bit. So like, I will admit that I like this song a little bit more now that I can associate it with a very low quality bootleg upload on YouTube of the performance, because I didn't get to watch it live. I didn't get to watch a lot of the performances live. Because of that, I did have a sort of predictions segment for the live performances that I streamed last Friday. I had underestimated how few official YouTube channels were going to upload the live performances. So I haven't been able to see all of them, and because of that, I don't feel comfortable grading myself on that specific category for like who I was predicting to have like the best performance or the worst performance or the best stage design. All I can say is like the ones that I did watch, like I do have my opinions on them. And I will say that Butter, like, okay, the Butter performance, I thought it was very cute. It did improve my my opinion of the song. It's kind of interesting when you think of, at least for me personally, I don't know if anybody else feels the same way. Like, visuals very much can make or break a song for me. It's like fine if a song doesn't have a music video, obviously, but if there can be like a song that I feel kind of is like mid or meh, but the music video is really badass, like I will forever associate it with that. You know, I love it. And then conversely, if there's like a music video for a song that I love that's like kind of gross, like for example, the Sweetest Pie music video is so off-putting to me. I'm really sorry to the people who actually stan it, because like I listen to the song first. I always do whenever a new song comes out and it drops simultaneously with a music video. I'll always listen to the audio first and then watch it, with the visuals, because I want to have like those separate experiences and give it a shot. And I really hated the music video. It's just very off-putting. Like, it's not bad, but there's just choices in it that I don't love, and because of that I can't feel the same way about that song again. As much as I love that collaboration, as much as I love like both of those artists, it was just not, I just didn't like the music video. I know that's like a completely separate side tangent, but I'll get more into the live performance probably as after we finish the main categories. I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way, I guess. So, but for best pop duo group performance, I love the Kiss Me More one. I've been manifesting a Grammy for Doja and SZA for the longest time, so the fact that they were able to get theirs together, I think is like super cute. I think it's really funny, and it's totally on brand for Doja to have been like in the restroom as it was announced. So she had to like run on stage. She's very frazzled. I know SZA, I don't really know what was fully going on with the crutches thing, because like I know there were like some clips that people were posting on Twitter that were just like, these are moments where like she's not using her crutches, so like she's lying again because that's her brand, and she's like faking like having crutches. But then I've seen like other things of like, well, like here are x-rays, like she showed people, and I don't know what to think anymore with SZA. I'm just gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and be like, these crutches manifested Lady Gaga helping you with your dress on stage, so I can't blame her for if the crutches are fake and she didn't actually need them. I still applaud the ruse, because she very clearly got something great out of it, something that I could only dream of one day. But sadly that doesn't, I can't think of like the realm of possibility where I'm like at the Grammys, for starters, like going on stage for an award and Lady Gaga is there to like help me with my outfit and like keep me from falling over myself. But yeah, and then Doja's speech, like when she just like started crying, I was like, that got me, that got my heart. There was like a couple moments. I don't usually cry at like award shows or anything, but there were a couple moments during last night that got me a bit, and that was definitely one of them. I think that, you know, it's very easy to just be like, I don't give a shit about the Grammys, or like, oh, you know, if I ever got one, like I just, you know, like not care because like the scammies and like they screwed over Beyonce. I'm just like, that's fair. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know, I feel like even though I talk a lot of shit, like I would be super happy if I was ever awarded like anything, to be honest. And be recognized, especially if you've been like in the industry as long as Doja has. I know that like she as far as like her big push for superstardom has been, it's been kind of truncated to the past few years, mostly with like with like Juicy and Hot Pink, but like I've been here since Amala with like Moo, and then there are people who have been there even longer and were with like I think it was like the Purr EP with So High going viral, And it's so wild to think about, like, that she's been around a lot longer than probably a lot of us could guess. And she was signed like a couple years even before that EP came out, I'm pretty sure. Don't fact check me on that. So she's been doing this for like basically a decade by now. But like, as far as like how the general public perceives her, it's like it's like a shorter span of time. And that will like never be trippy to me, I think. But it's great to see somebody who's like very clearly put in the work for so long finally get recognized. I mean, like, obviously, you know, people still love her regardless of if she has a Grammy or not. People were like ride or dying for her, like at like the last ceremony with Say So and her not getting Best New Artist, which, like, that was a very stacked category that year. Like, I wouldn't have been able to choose who the Best New Artist was, because you literally have so many people going on. But as much as I love that Meg won, I think Doja is like just as qualified for that role. But I digress. That's a completely different I mean, that's a different year of Grammys. We're gonna go into the next category because I've been lingering on this for a little long. But for Best Pop Vocal Album, got Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. Oh wait, hang on, I didn't scroll down all the way. One sec. I love that for her. Again, I was like quietly being like, I hope Positions wins. I want some love for Positions. But I figured, looking at like all of the other nominees in Best Pop Vocal Album, I was just like, yeah, no, it was probably gonna go to Sour. As much as I love every other album except for Justice in this category. Like, honestly, if I was on like the committee, I would not have known really who to choose. I would have stanned probably Positions just because Ariana was only nominated for 2 categories this year. But yeah, I'm still happy Sour won. Like, I've been admittedly, I have been listening to it a lot, like, to prep over the past couple of days for Grammy hype. I've done that with Planet Her as well. And then, like, Happier Than Ever is just kind of sat in my rotation for a bit. Positions has never left my rotation. Like, I will continue to be annoying about Positions until the day I die, to be perfectly honest. So for Best Alternative Music Album, I mean, you can see that I was very much pushing for Daddy's Home by St. Vincent. This was like a category that I didn't have a Dear God Please No, because I felt all of these were like, I mean, like the worst one, quote unquote, was still fine, you know. I didn't really have any active vendetta against any of these artists either. Personally, I guess while we're here, actually 2 things. One, I did kind of shift from who I would be okay with winning sort of after I finished stream to be maybe a little bit more favorable of Arlo, because I think that album was great. But I did kind of swing back to Jubilee being my, like, I'd be okay with her winning, just because I mean, I don't know, I feel like Japanese Breakfast has gotten like better and better over the years, and this feels like her most confident album out of all of them. So I would have been okay with her winning. And I also want to say, I think we will be grading the red carpet looks and kind of just the outfits in general from last night in a bit. But I thought her dress was very cute. I think it tied in the album very well. It was very it felt very like whimsical, and it'll make more sense when like I actually show. I'm hoping the article I have has her dress on it, because it doesn't have everybody on it, which is kind of a bummer. I kind of wish it did, but it has a decent amount, so hopefully that'll still be a good enough reference point for us to be looking into that part further. For best R&B performance, so I honestly forgot that there could be a tie. So for me, I was just like, okay, well that's just be like double points, right? Um, so we have Leave the Door Open and Pick Up Your Feelings. Jasmine finally having a Grammy. I love that for her. I'm obsessed with her. I think her outfit from last night was very cute. I thought her speech was very funny. Well, I shouldn't say funny. The parts of it were funny, but then like the whole message of it I thought was very good about like the mission statement of the album being very much about being able to show like black women be messy and like black women have like sexual power and let them have the agency that so many other people especially in media are allowed to have. And I mean I obviously I love that statement. I think Heaux Tales is iconic, which is why I was very 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 stoked with her win, but I guess that's coming up later, because we have best R&B song first, which was for Leave the Door Open. I wasn't really surprised at that. That felt like the pretty popular pick. I was just kind of hoping for I mean, again, I've been trying to get I say as if I've been actively working behind the scenes for it. I've been really wanting SZA to get a Grammy. So and like I like Good Days. I think that song's very cute. And the writing is like spectacular on it in my opinion. So I would, you know, I want it to win, but I figured it was going to be Leave the Door Open. But to go back to what I was saying though about Heaux Tales winning best R&B album, what? I was so certain that We Are was gonna win just because of like how much was nominated for that night, but I'm really happy that Heaux Tales won. I guess maybe I don't have that much to say about it after all. I think that album's great. I think it's like a really amazing blend of like so many different like emotions, I guess. Like there's like funny songs on it, there's like sensual songs on it, there's like sad songs on it. For me, that's kind of what I want out of an album. Like give me range, you know, but like not in a playlist kind of way, because I think ooh, this is gonna get me heat maybe, but I think a Drake record, for example, if it feels too much like a playlist as opposed to like a complete project, to me that doesn't work. I want a project that feels cohesive but still has like enough emotional range, I guess, to keep me engaged, to make it feel like this whole world, I guess. And for me, that was Heaux Tales. I just want to quickly touch on, because I'm just remembering, John Batiste's speech for Album of the Year was so good. I feel like bringing it up now because it very much was like, even if like Heaux Tales isn't like an album that is like very specifically about me, because I cannot relate to a lot of the experiences on the album just because like I'm not black and I'm not a woman, but that doesn't mean that the messages like can't be universal, and that doesn't mean that an album can't find you at like the right time. I think his statement about music having sort of like a radar to be able to find like the right person when they like exactly need this like music, I thought that was like a beautiful sentiment. I 100% agree. There are like so many albums where like even if it doesn't like get a ton of awards or it's not critically acclaimed or whatever, like there are just certain parts of your life where a certain project is just absolutely hitting. And for me that was Heaux Tales. When Heaux Tales came out, I was like going through shit. so that was a nice record for me to have as like a soundtrack to like get me through it. So I was very happy that the Heaux Tales was able to be that, and was also able to win, because I think a lot of people probably felt the same way about that too. I feel like that's like a very relatable record for a lot of people that definitely helps a lot of people feel seen and feel like powerful, but like also like vulnerable. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I maybe this is turning into like a I gush about Heaux Tales for for 40-minute stream. I don't know. But we'll move on to the next category, which again I was like, I felt. So here's the thing. I'm glad I was right, obviously. But I still haven't been able to find an answer to why the rap categories were so small. Like, did somebody pull out their submissions at the last minute? Like, how come they don't have the same amount as like the other categories? Unless like I'm missing something big. I really tried to figure out what it was. I couldn't find anything when I googled it. Watch me find it out like right after the stream though, and like the answer is super obvious. Yeah, I'm not surprised that Family Ties won. I really like Thought Shit, but like that is a song that like the music video almost like hurts the song for me a bit, because I did not like the music video. Like, I do think it's funny. It was entertaining. It's just like it's not my favorite Meg video. There's also another category that I didn't really have like a Dear God Please No. I may not be like the biggest fan of J. Cole, but like I didn't dislike the record enough to manifest it not winning, if that makes any sense. What I was sort of working against though mentally, I mean, here's the thing. I didn't hate Hurricane, but I feel like Industry Baby was like much better in my opinion. I also really like, okay, so I doubled down on Industry Baby here just because of how much I love it, but like Need to Know and What's Your Name were like also really high up there for me. It didn't matter in the end because none of those three won, sadly. But like I still, oh my god, I feel like that verse on Need to Know, whenever it comes on in the car, I'm just like, I'm ready. This is like sort of my the 2020s version of like, I don't want to say the 2020s version of like Monster, because like obviously it's not like the same song, but like when I think of how obsessively like I tried to learn the like Nicki's verse in Monster, and then like how much I want to learn the verse to Need to Know, like it has kind of like the same energy for me. I'm definitely outing myself as like a very basic gay here when I say that, but it's true. We're gonna continue me not standing Donda with Jail winning Best Rap Song. I don't really have much to say about it, except like I really just want more songs about your bestie. We need more best friend songs, because then I can like live vicariously through it. Because I have best friends obviously, but they don't live near me. So like, you know, I can't. Ooh, this is like making me sound like very sad, but it's just like I don't know. I envy friend groups that can like have this blasting in their car like on a night out and be able to relate to it. Oh my god, that's so sad. We're gonna move on to Best Rap Album. I'm so glad it was not Donda. I don't know if that's mean, but Call Me If You Get Lost, amazing record. I kind of go back and forth of whether I think it's better than Igor or not. It's definitely not worse, which maybe is like antithetical to the concept of better, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's a very like cohesive project. Plays very nicely. I like records that you can just leave it going, and it's not too jarring. I guess. It's kind of like why I'd consider myself like an Evermore girly over folklore. Not to compare like the projects because they're very different. But it's like I can have this like on in the car and play like non-stop and um, not feel like it's getting mundane or anything. I think it's a very clean listen. It's a very maybe not clean. I don't know that anybody calls the Tyler the Creator project clean. How about just smooth? It flows very well. That's what I'll say about it, because yeah. Best music video. So here's the thing, and I'm open to other people disagreeing with me on this, because to be honest, maybe I just haven't watched enough, or maybe not paid attention enough to the Grammys in recent years as much as I should be. I know that similar to the Oscars, what they've done to help with ratings is they've condensed the main show into like a different sort of more compact time slot so that people aren't waiting to get the big categories announced until like basically midnight. So because of that, a lot of categories that are considered smaller or sort of attract less attention, quote unquote, get happen like basically in the pre-show. They still film it, but it's like essentially to an empty auditorium, which I think is like kind of rude. Personally, I feel like producers and engineers and session musicians and soundtracks for shows and movies and everything like that, excuse me, I think they deserve to be recognized amongst their peers. But again, I get that, I understand why they do it. It's like a very long ceremony in general. Like I would not be able to stay for the entirety of the Grammys realistically, so I get why they do that. I also get that, was it Trevor Noah that said that they wanted the show to basically be a concert that gives out awards? I could definitely tell by the fact that the performance lineup was like a lot longer than previous years and was a lot more stacked. So I'm assuming that that's sort of where like the rating element sort of came into play as well. But because of that, I was surprised that Best Music Video was given out so early. Because like for me anyway, when I'm thinking of the songs and like Record of the Year and Song of the Year and like those big categories or whatever, I feel like the music video plays a pretty big part of that role. And because of that, you would think it'd be announced sort of closer to the main categories. Well, the quote-unquote main categories, which are, going to be like the big three for a lot of people. It's going to be Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year. You'd think music video would be closer, because I think so anyway. I recognize that this isn't like the MTV Music Video Awards where like that's like the main thing. Like I get that it's like it's not for like the Recording Academy. It doesn't have the same level of recognition as like just like the songs and everything itself. But like I would still argue, if you're working with like pop music, actually no, I'll go further than just like pop music. I think any song that has like a visual attached to it is very much a part of that song. I think we're seeing more and more artists that are transparent about seeing the visuals already when they're writing the song, and that very much plays into how they write it, how they perform it, how they like compose it and everything. Like that's a big part for like a lot of people, especially younger artists that are a lot more visual when it comes to like their thought processes. So because of that, I'm just like, it's a core identity in my opinion of like the song is like the music video. And I would argue certain live performances as well. Like when I look at albums that I know this is like kind of a side tangent, but I noticed that like a lot of artists when they get to like their sophomore album, if they toured the first project, it completely changes like sort of the direction they go with for their second album, because it's like, oh yeah, I need to make something that's like easier to translate live, right? um so there, you know, there's so much context that goes into making art and making music that I feel like best music video needed to be considered more. So the fact that it was given out so early, like I think it came out at like 6, and like the main quote unquote categories didn't start being given out until like 9 or 10. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if that was weird for anybody else. It was definitely weird for me. I think I already talked about the how I feel about Freedom winning. I like the music video personally. I sort of had to rewatch it again after it was announced, because I didn't really fully remember it in comparison to like some of the other ones in the category. Well, I mean, especially when I think about about Call Me by Your Name and like how much that like had everybody clutching their pearls. But I don't know. I really wanted Call Me by Your Name to win. I would have been okay with. I mean, like I'm still okay with Freedom winning, obviously, but I don't know. It was I was definitely shocked by that decision. So for just because we're here, I feel like I need to give like maybe a little bit more context to some of these. So for like the negative categories, quote unquote, or whatever, but like putting John Legend as boring and putting Ben Platt as like flop vocals, those were jokes. I just needed to like fill I needed to fill them, and I kind of have like I kind of assumed that like if Ben Platt was going to be doing, because he was part of like a medley, I'm pretty sure, with like, well, I thought it was going to be a medley with like other artists that were there kind of soft promoting their movies, but it was like they were basically singers that were attached to musical films. I thought that was going to be like a medley of all of their songs from like each of the movies. It was not the case. It was like it was a tribute to the drummer of the Foo Fighters who recently passed, which I thought was a very good tribute. But because I didn't know that, I that's the reason why I put best performance for the musical theater girlies over BTS. Like less because I didn't think BTS was gonna do well in their live performance, but more just that like I wanted to see how these like vastly different movies, because there was 4 singers, and they were all there for different movies. I wanted to see if they could tie them all together. And I was just like, if they do that well, then like I'm willing to put that as like best performance, because that would be a very impressive feat. But that's not what they did, which I still respect what they did, but like that's the reason why that's like it's not best performance. I will say that Peaches was definitely my least favorite performance of the night that I'd seen. Again, I haven't seen all of them. I've seen let's go through this. I've seen Silk Sonic's, I've seen John Batiste's, I've seen the Theater Girl medley, I've seen Happier Than Ever. Did I already say BTS? If I did, I'm like losing my mind. I did see Lil Nas X, I saw Olivia's, I saw Peaches, I saw Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's made me cry. Like, was it my favorite performance of the night? Not necessarily, but was it the one I remember the most? Yeah. I think anybody who's sort of I'm gonna try to talk about it without crying. Anybody who's had like a loved one sort of struggle with Alzheimer's, I feel like you could probably see a version of yourself like on stage with her, you know, essentially telling him that she loves him, and Yeah, it was very emotional. I got choked up watching it. I thought it was very good. Um, so and then yeah, Peaches probably had my least favorite because like I didn't love the vocal performances of like anybody there. It's not like, I mean, Justin's vocals were fine. Giveon was okay, but Daniel, Daniel was kind of rough at the beginning, and then like none of them had stage presence, which I 100% expected. Like, to be honest, I would have put Peaches in all of the negative categories if I could have. I just told myself not to because I was just like, no, I should force myself to like try to have a little bit more fun with it. But like looking back now, it's like it does fit all of the categories because like I didn't love the vocal performances. They had like no stage presence. Basically, they just like got up there, sang, and left. The stage design was super boring. It was basically just Justin with the piano, like singing Peaches dramatically at the beginning, which is like, that is not a song that translates very well to like that sort of extra musical theater energy. It's like you're not playing it like you're not playing Peaches at a jazz bar. I'll say that. That's not a thing you do. And then, I don't know, it's just like Daniel Caesar sounded off at the beginning. He did bring it back around, but he just sounded so awkward at the start and pitchy. And then Giveon, I struggle so much with this man because I know he can sing, but he hasn't found, I disagree. I think he has been able to find his sweet spot vocally in the past. He just doesn't get there enough because he keeps making Heartbreak Anniversary just like in a different outfit. Is that controversial? I don't know. I think of like the feature that he had with Drake, and I even think about like, was it Like I Want You? Is that the name of the song? I like both of those songs a lot. I like his vocal performances on both of those. But like, I don't love anything else that he's done. It's like, it's not like he's a bad singer. He has a good voice. He has a very unique voice too. I mean, he's like, it's at the point where like the only person I think that I could like mistake him for vocally is Sampha, but like I can tell like I can tell which song Sampha's on because the songwriting is better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if like I just want him to be on more. I don't want to say Sampha like songs, but like maybe, I don't know. I just kind of want a little bit more like emotive performances from Giveon, and Peaches is not it. Heartbreak Anniversary is not it, despite the fact that like you think that lyrically and like from the title it would be a very emotional song, and it's just not. It's very flat, and I think he needs to like sort of get out of that comfort zone vocally for himself in order to make I don't want to say make better music like explicitly, but at the same time, just I guess I have to be 100% honest about it, is like to just make better music. I think that'll help him a lot if he gets out of his comfort zone for his like sort of vocal bed, I guess. Like he likes to sit in this like very comfortable zone, which is it's so weird because like he has such a nice falsetto, and like it's not like he doesn't have the capability of like volume control either. He just doesn't use it on like a lot of his songs, and I don't know if bringing in different writers is going to help, or bringing in different producers that sort of force you to be more tactile about it, if that would like fix those issues. But I don't know, like I'm rooting for him to get better. That's the thing. I know that I know that there are memes about him like, you know, kind of coming off as like a douchebag in some of his songs. I can't really comment on that because at the end of the day, I feel like it's hard not to sound like a bit of a narcissist as a musician. It's hard not to expose yourself as like maybe being a little bit of the problem in a relationship in like your music. Because I don't think anybody is like at the end of the day can write a song where they're 100% the victim. They might be able to like cover it up well, but that does, you know, at the end of the day, like relationships are complicated. I don't know why this turned into like a relationship counseling thing, because that is like super unrelated. But I guess that's all I have to say on that. I didn't realize that this was gonna turn into like a coaching moment for Giveon, but I don't know. It's just like his performance last night was not giving. As far as the performances that I saw that I really liked, I know there were some fan rumors about like a Billie and Harry Styles collab with like her set design. I don't know if that's, I mean, I don't know how much weight there is to that rumor. That'd be iconic if it was, but I kind of doubt it. I don't think Harry invented upside down rooms. But I don't know, you know, if I end up being wrong, then like I still win because then it's like a Billie Eilish Harry Styles collab. I thought Olivia's is very cute too. It was like kind of recreating the music video bit. It's a good. I wasn't sure if she was gonna do a medley or just do Driver's License as like her song choice. I think it's like it was a good full circle moment to like not just perform only Driver's License, but to bring it back to that music video with that's like sort of the big thing that started this entire journey. I thought it was a good full circle moment. So I like that quite a bit. For Lil Nas X, I liked his performance. I'm still on the fence of whether or not I loved it. He was the only one that I saw that like had like a costume change, so I'll give him that. But again, totally proved me wrong once I like watched the rest of these, because again I haven't seen all of them because nobody's uploading them except for channels that are getting deleted after they do. But I don't know, I feel like he did have good stage presence. He had good energy, and I liked the song picks too. I wasn't expecting Dead Right Now. Was it Dead Right Now or Dead by Now? Like I like that he went with a non-single as one of the songs that he performed. But obviously he was going to do the big ones. He was going to do Call Me By Your Name. He was going to do Industry Baby because those are the ones he was nominated for. There's also like his biggest singles right now. But it was just nice to sort of sandwich in between something that was like more narrative focused, I guess. I think medleys are kind of hard to do a lot of the time if you're working with a time constraint. But I imagine that with like an artist that's like his size, he was able to have like a little wiggle room. So I don't mind that he did a medley, especially because again you're honoring both songs that were nominated. Silk Sonic, oh my god, I really thought that they were going to do Leave the Door Open as their main song, and they went with 777, which like was like an interesting choice. I was sort of, I want to say I was scratching my head a bit at the beginning, but like I wasn't mad about it, and then like when it hit me that like, oh, it's like, you know, the Grammys, so normally they're not in Vegas, but they were this year because the I guess it's not the Staples Center anymore, it's the it's the fucking crypto stadium, crypto.com, which is a fucking stupid name. Because they couldn't accommodate that large of a gathering because of COVID guidelines, they went with Vegas instead. So having a song that is like about buying Vegas is it was a cute song choice. So I don't mind that they went with 777. It is interesting though when like, because that's off of like the Evening with Silk Sonic album, and that's something that technically could not be submitted yet, just because of the Grammy cutoffs. I'm obviously, again, I'm not mad that they chose 777. I just think it's like interesting because now I'm like, if they submit the album for example, album of the year at like the next Grammys, I'm interested to see what they perform if they decide to be live. Because there were artists that I was surprised like that didn't perform, despite the fact that the lineup was pretty big. I was surprised that Doja and SZA didn't do Kiss Me More, but then I think about like I guess Doja did just like she was just in South America, right? Like she was just in Brazil, and there was the whole Paraguay situation. Like I don't blame her for wanting to take a break from live performing on TV anyway, but it was a bummer though, because we only have so many performances of like Doja and SZA together because you just can't get them in the same room a lot of the time at this point. So it would have been a cute opportunity for that, but it's okay. Like I respect the decision, especially since like I mean SZA wouldn't have been able to do much if she was in crutches. so it was pretty limiting. I don't know if they like either of them came out with a statement beforehand, like sort of explaining why they didn't perform live last night, because they might have already addressed this and I'm like hypothesizing for no reason, but I don't know. So that is basically all of the predictions besides like some of the ceremony stuff, but like I realized a lot of the way through that like that's so much footage for me to go through. Just to like have like a failed bingo card, because originally I was trying to make it a bingo card, but I just couldn't figure it out. So if we were going to grade ourselves for last night, well, okay, so if we're going strictly by how many I got right, so there's 16 categories total. I was right about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 or wait, did I skip one? I must have skipped one. I think I skipped rap album. So 12 out of 16 isn't bad. Now, if we're going by the scoring standards that I set for myself to make the challenge harder, where who will probably win is worth 1, who I want to win is worth 1, would be okay with winning is like worth half, and then Dear God Please No is like -2, and then just flat out getting it wrong is -1. That leaves us with, you know, I'm gonna like switch to just chatting again, just because it's probably jarring to watch me scroll up and down and like struggle to do math. 2, so that's gonna be -2 because I didn't want Hurricane to win, so that's back to 10. Ooh, if we freeze, I'm very sorry. My computer is having a very rough time today, apparently. Oh no. Okay, so with the weighted grading, it's 9 out of 16, which is not great. But if we're going strictly off of just predictions, it's 12 out of 16. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy about it. I did a lot better than I thought I would. Granted, I guess, at the end of the day, there were like some pretty obvious choices. I was surprised by Album of the Year, as much as I do think, you know, it deserved it. I really thought they were gonna go with a newcomer, to be honest, but Yeah, so we're gonna take a short break because I've been talking a lot, and I need to get a water. But that's basically the that's the predictions recap, I guess. For now, we're going to move into fashion, and then we might call it a night from there, because we're going for pretty long, and I feel weird uploading another like 3 hour VOD. So I think we're gonna do fashion, and then I'll do probably a quick little life update by the end, or just at the very least like a weekends kind of update. Talk about what we have going on for stream next, and then I'll dip for the night. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. So, I'm not sure how I want to grade these. Should I go for like a just like a basic A to F scale? Um, I will say so on my predictions sheet, I guess. I One of the things I made for like the ceremony, or basically like the non-category stuff, was that somebody was gonna bring a very bad wig to the red carpet itself. But I did clarify in the stream though that like it was kind of based off of like Taylor Swift's like bleach Ella look, like where she just kind of like bleached her hair, and it was like cute for a second, but then it kind of like ended up not being a vibe very quickly after. So it's like it's not just a wig. It's kind of just like any sort of radical hair change that is like almost exclusive to this event is what I will consider as a part of that. If there is somebody who has like a bad wig or like a bad hair sort of thing, but they've done it before, or it's part of a bit they've done before, I will also not count that. We are talking specifically about tonight, and grading it based on that. So I'm acting like this is like a this is like a prestigious thing where it has to be super formal and there are all these rules about it. It's literally just me being like, do I think this outfit is cute or not? So we have like, so we do have, I guess while we're here, we have Doja, we have Tiffany, and we have Olivia. I remember people were saying that like Olivia went goth with this one, which is like I don't know that it's fair to call that goth. Like just because something's like black doesn't necessarily make it goth. Um, but I think the dress is cute. I'll give it I will say the side profile of it that I've like seen in like other shots like isn't my favorite dress, so I'll probably give it like maybe like a B plus. Doja, I mean Doja like always has really like fun looks. It's hard for me to like really fault her a lot of the time. She did change her she did change her outfit a couple times like across the performance. So, but going off of like the red carpet look, you know what it's kind of reminding me of? Is it like, what's her name in that like movie Atlantis? Is it Kiva? No, it's Kida, I think. Yeah, the Princess Kida. I know that Doja went as Princess Kida for Halloween once. It's kind of giving me that a bit. I think that's like mostly because of like the blue and like the bright hair. So because of that, it gets like an A minus for me. I think. I still I feel a little bit weird about like the sheer. Like I like, not that there's anything inherently I have like against sheer like on a dress or like having this kind of look. I don't know, there's something about it that maybe feels like a little too tight for me. Maybe something that like feels a little bit more flowing I might have liked a little bit better, but like I still like it quite a bit. For Tiffany though, I don't know that I'm feeling it. I mean, maybe it's just like not a great photo, but I don't know. I mean, like I do like the is it like gold? The kind of gold vibe, I guess. I think it like in that sense it's like fine, but I don't know. The fabric kind of just doesn't look good to me. And like I'm not the biggest fan of her hair, but it's not like egregious. I'd give it like maybe like a C plus, B minus. I'm sorry, Tiffany, I still love you, but I guess yeah. Oh, it's Versace. Okay, I did not know that. I guess it's going through it anyway. Oh, Questlove. Oh, I should probably throw out that just because like I'm remembering that there were categories that I was gonna talk about that like I didn't list specifically my predictions, but I wanted to like shout them out. Summer of Soul, great movie, glad I got the Grammy. Soul, great movie, great soundtrack, glad they were able to be recognized with that. um I want justice for Agatha all along. I feel like that, I mean, granted, I haven't seen Bo Burnham's like inside movie, so I mean, my opinion could probably change about it, but I don't know, I feel like Agatha all along like should have won best original song for visual media. That's just my opinion though. But congrats to Questlove. um is it his signature Crocs? Have I just never looked at um his feet at any of these red carpet looks? um like, is this a thing that he's just like known for doing? I don't know. I mean, I guess so, if that's what they're saying. I like it. I think this is cute. I think it's I do like the little splash of color with like the glasses. It's a nice pattern. I feel like when you match black with black for like a black top and like black pants, it's hard to find like a good balance, because it's just like if you go with exactly the same tone, you risk the you risk the chance of just looking like you're in a onesie. um, but if there's like a certain ratio of different that makes it kind of like an uncanny valley kind of thing when you're trying to match those colors. So I think this is a good balance. I'll give this an A. I like this quite a bit. It's like simple. It's like cute though. I, I guess that's kind of like all I have to say about it. I appreciate I appreciate a good button up, and like just like a cute sort of croc moment, I guess. I mean, like, I wouldn't be able to tell from far away, but I'm also blind, so and like my prescription definitely needs to be updated. Laverne Cox. Oh, I saw this one on Twitter. Yeah, the actress wore a floaty lace dress over a black undergarment set designed by hello, yes, John Galliano. I think that's how we pronounce it. Cox finished the look with simple but sparkling jewelry. I like this one a lot. Personally, I know that some people might think that the hair might not be like the best choice. But I personally love it. I mean, like, I just like that shade of like, it's like kind of, is that fuchsia? I don't know the names of colors. I should like stop pretending. But I think like that paired with like the makeup, especially with like I think like a black dress sort of with or just kind of any black outfit in general with a good splash of color anywhere, whether that's with like hair, with like accessories, I think is good. But I like this quite a bit. I would give it probably an A, I think. Yeah, she's cute, and I don't know, it was like all over. Every time I saw them in my timeline, I was like, yes, I love this. I know that like some people that I was like reading when I was like going through my timeline last night, a lot of people were not feeling these red carpet looks. I haven't found one that like has aggressively hurt me yet. I just kind of like, it's like, is it as like exciting as maybe other years? Maybe not so far yet, but I mean, like, there's like, still like a good charm to like elegant, I guess. Like, you don't need to be Met Galaing it. But that's just me. I did talk about Olivia Rodrigo's outfit. I do like it. I think the chokers are definitely my favorite part about it. I don't know that I love the purple outline though. It feels kind of like, on one hand, like, yes, it is nice to have like a little bit of color there, and like she has it with the necklaces as well, so it like ties in color wise. It just, I don't know, I don't really, It's not really working for me. So maybe I don't remember what score I just gave her. Maybe I'll just give her like a B plus or B. Yeah, maybe like a B plus or a B. Spice. Oh my god. Okay, so I have thoughts. um, she wore a glittering sheer gown and a flowing, extravagant red cape that she later dropped onto the red carpet to show off her ensemble. I have like things that I like about it and things that I very much dislike about it. I think it's like I don't really like the texture of like the needly bits. It kind of makes me think of like a Party City pinata a little bit. But like I don't hate the outfit, especially if it's like paired with that red cape. I wish they had a picture of like her with the red cape on, because that might change my opinion about it. But like as of now, it's just like I don't love the tassels that much. But the core outfit is like okay. I'll give this like a C minus. But like that's going off of like this pick. This could just straight up be like a bad pick. Michelle's honor of Japanese breakfast wore a yellow mini dress with the back cut out. I love this dress a lot. I feel like it's sort of like the level of I want to say like theatricalness that I like kind of want out of red carpet looks, because like it's still pretty like subdued. It's definitely not the wackiest dress I've like seen like on a red carpet, but it definitely has like the most character out of all of the red carpet looks so far, in my opinion. And it like ties well with like her album, with like the yellow colors, and I don't know, I just like it. I like the sort of I like the kind of ruffly, pedally like kind of vibe to it. So I'll give this an A+. This is like easily my favorite of the night so far. I'll give that an A+. Brandy Carlisle, lesbian icon, donned a patterned suit jacket with psychedelic colors. I think if like the pants were tighter, not tighter. Let me rephrase that. If like the legs, I guess, or like the bottoms of them were more of like a fitted cuff. Is that like the word for it? I might like it a little bit more. And like I don't love the pattern going down the side of the pant leg, but I still like the pattern. And it like kind of goes with like the vibe of the album too that she went with. We love like a good classic dress shirt underneath moment, so I'll probably give this like I'll give this an A-. I was gonna say B+, but like the more I look at it, like the more I do enjoy it. It's like very gay, and I appreciate that. Kelsey Ballerini, I don't know who this is, I'm very sorry, wore a high slit black gown and a large white bow to the red carpet. You know, it's like reminding me of who was it? It was oh shoot, what's her name? Rose at like the Met Gala. It's okay. It's like elegant, it's simple. It just I don't know, the bow doesn't look that good from this angle. And I feel like maybe like a hairpiece would have like made or like a more defined hairpiece may have made like the outfit feel a little bit more defined, I guess, or like it has like more character. Because right now with it just being like the single bow there and like otherwise it's just like a black dress, it's kind of boring. But like I don't hate it. It's still nice. And like I do like how her hair is done. So I'll give it like maybe a B-. I don't know, a B. It's like inoffensive enough to be like a B. Leon Bridges. Okay. I like the pattern. I don't like where the jacket cuts off. how high like the pants go, but like I can always like sort of count on him to be very stylish. I like it except for like those like those like main factors. I think like the jacket could be longer, and the the shirt tuck could be lower as well. It just feels like a little awkward where it goes. So maybe like I still really like the pattern though. And like the collar is very nice with like the necklace, and like the glasses are cool. I like how his hair's done. So I really wish it wasn't like like it didn't like cut off so weirdly in the middle, because otherwise I would have easily given this like at least an A. I think this might be like a B for me. Billy Porter, Stunned in a Bright Pink Ruffled Ensemble by Valentino. Oh, who's okay? Hang on. Let me deal with these bots. One second. I'm just realizing this is what happens when I don't check chat. Fun stuff, I mean not really loving Billy Porter's outfit. I feel like the thing with Billy Porter is like his stuff is like always very divisive for me, because sometimes I appreciate how like out of this world it is, and how like, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say off-putting. Like I can admire the confidence a lot of the time, but this time is like it's not doing anything for me. I'm sorry, Billy Porter. This might be my first F. Yeah, I'm sorry, Billy. This is an F. I think it's too brave for me. Carrie Underwood brought the glamour in gold with an embellished ball gown. Ball gowns are cute. I can appreciate a good ball gown. No, I like this. I like the colors on it. I think it's like, it kind of does like a similar thing with sort of the texture with the top that Tiffany's did, but it balances itself out with the sort of ribbony texture instead, and then like the rest of the dress. That helps balance it quite a bit. This is a nice dress. I'll give this an A. I like this a lot. I think the only thing that like maybe could like improve it is like maybe like a good necklace or choker, but otherwise I like this quite a bit. Am I just liking like the color yellow and orange tonight? I might, or just gold. It's an ombre gold. Okay. Oh, of course, because like directly into Tiffany. I don't know. It's definitely bold. I'll give it that, but it's just not my favorite. It's not my favorite look of hers. I think maybe if like the hair could have fixed it. If she had like longer hair, maybe it could like split up the dress a bit, because right now it's just kind of like one wrap, I guess. I don't love it, so it's kind of like, but again, it's not terrible. I'll give it maybe like a C. Billie Eilish served gothic glamour in an all-black look with dark sunglasses. this is like kind of in like the same realm of character that I like, that Michelle had with her Jubilee inspired outfit. It's interesting though because like Happier Than Ever like is like completely the opposite of this vibe. This definitely feels more like something she'd be wearing if she was like promoting When We All Fall Asleep, or just kind of anything in like her earlier career. But I definitely don't mind it. It's very cute. I think the thing that Billie has like always been pretty good at is like making um oversized clothes like still complement like her figure, um even if it like hides like her like body, um but also has like an element of like elegance to it, maybe like a little bit regal. I think it might just be like how she's like posing right now, but it's very it's, I don't want to say imposing. It's actually maybe I will say that, but like not in a bad way. Well, we need to see a ranking of all the outfits, lol. You know, if there's like a tier list that exists online that like has these, then I would, but I don't know that I could individually do one. I'm mostly just kind of scrolling through these for giggles, mostly because like I've only seen like a handful of these like on Twitter. I haven't actually gone through and looked at like all of the looks. I just remember people saying they didn't love them, but like I'm not really having a major problem with any of them so far, but I could also just like not be a very fashionable person. As far as this is concerned, it's like I would give this like an A minus. A minus. It has like a nice element of drama to it with like how bold the going all black is. Like it feels like very cold, but like still like not completely uninviting. It's a very intense look, without being too edgy. So I'll give it like an A minus. Okay, so controversial opinion. I know a lot of people on Twitter were dragging her for this dress. This is gonna expose my bad taste in fashion. I actually quite like it. I think maybe maybe it wouldn't be like the full dress that should be like that print, but I like it. Is there something wrong with me apparently? I personally enjoy it quite a bit. I like how kind of odd it is. It's like very confident. It's very I almost said catty, and that would have been like such a bad pun, like unintended pun, but like it's kind of true. So I don't know. I'll give it an A. I like it quite a bit. Maybe the jewelry could be different, but overall I like it. Like I think like the eye makeup is like cute as well. Maybe like a necklace, or I can't really see the earrings, so maybe like the earrings could bring it together a little bit more. But otherwise I like it quite a bit. Halsey, alright. She's also bringing an element of drama through her dress, and she also had. Ooh, I did know that she had surgery recently. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, it's the big props for still being able to like make it and do all these appearances after surgery. I like this one too. I think it does have like the kind of drama that I said that I liked. I just don't know that like shoulderless in this case like totally worked for her. That's not bad. I think I overall like it, so maybe like an A minus. Her said her bright orange jumpsuit was inspired by Aretha Franklin. How do I feel about this? I think I just don't like the shade of yellow for like the main piece. I like the cape a lot, but well, not the cape, what's kind of, actually no, is that kind of it's like a sleeve cape? I don't know. I do sort of like the sort of sparkly embellishment, sort of going like around like the chest and then sort of going down the leg, and there's like little sprinkles of it like on the arms as well. It feels very bird-like. It's just, again, I don't like the core yellow, but everything else I like about it. So maybe like a B plus. We'll say B plus. It's still very cute, and I like the inspiration. Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. Okay, well, to grade them individually, I think Kourtney. I don't hate Kourtney's. It's not my favorite for the night, but I do like an all black ensemble. I think the idea of like showing up with like your partner, I guess, with them wearing a redder color to like complement it. I do like the idea of it, and I think it could have been handled better though. So because I don't really like would you be able to call that a trench? I know hot pink is like, I mean, here's the thing, like a black pink sort of vibe. I mean, as a blank, obviously I can support it, but I don't know. This doesn't work for me. I appreciate when men try things, but you know, you can't try without the risk of failure. So for me, this is kind of a flop. So I'll probably give Kourtney like a C, and then Travis maybe a D. It could be worse. That's the thing. It's like I know that the vibe is like supposed to be like, it's like it doesn't fit well, and it sort of creates like a little bit of a character to it. I don't know that I agree with that character. Or maybe like a D plus. With them together, that helps. But if he was like by himself, just wearing this, I'd be like, this is like not it. But knowing that it's like sort of a couple's outfit and they kind of synergize in that way, it's like, okay, that kind of saves it like a tiny bit, just not by much. Lil Nas X wore white matching set adorned in diamonds and pearls on the red carpet. This was one of the ones I also saw. I'm obsessed with this look. This is an A++ for me. I love like the butterfly embellishments on it. I love the eye makeup. I love the platforms. This is just a good look. I really, really like it. A+. I also saw this one. Dua Lipa wore a vintage Versace gown with gold accents. This is also like a really great look, in my opinion. I will also give this an A++. Rachel Zegler, I always butcher her name. Donned a custom Dior dress and shoes. This is very simple. It's very it's like elegant, and then the jewelry was designed by Tiffany's. I respect that. I think I don't know, I have like a personal thing kind of like against dresses that like where like the straps are at the side and they look kind of wimpy a bit. Because like I just know that like that the tape is working like 9 to 5 overtime hours keeping the dress up. It just doesn't look comfortable to me. And also like the colors just kind of like, I mean, again, it could just be the lighting. I'm not really a massive fan of the color. It feels a little bit like just like kind of washed out a bit. But it's not the worst. I'll give it like a C-. Actually no, C- is probably rough. I'll give it a C. Lady Gaga wore a black and white dress with a train. I'm also in love with. I feel like Lady Gaga like doesn't really miss on red carpets, in my opinion. I know that makes me like a really basic gay for saying that, but like come on. uh it like fits with like sort of the project that she's like being recognized for. It's like very classic. And I do know that she does change after like the red carpet when she goes inside to this sort of like it's like a mint green, but well, actually no, it's like a blue green kind of like gown. I loved that one too. So but I like this one a lot. Is it like the best of the night? No, but it's still like very nice. It has like, again, it has the element of drama with black, but it has like a good sort of color blend. Um, I like the shape of the dress. I definitely like the trade. So I'll give it an A minus. A. I'll settle. I'll settle on A. I like it. Justin Bieber F. I don't have to. I don't have to say anything else. He's an F. Balenciaga, you dropped the ball a little bit on this one. I don't even want to look at it anymore. Giveon. I actually like this one a lot. I'll give it an A personally. At least from this angle, it looks fine. I think maybe from certain angles it might not look great, but I feel like this is like, I like when men try things and it actually works, because I feel like a lot of men sort of defer to just like suits, but when it comes to like sort of music related stuff though, that's when you get to see people be like a little bit more artsy and creative. And I'm glad he was able to sort of like find a good comfortable balance for himself where he's not trying too hard, but he's like at least trying. So it's a very classy look. It's very snazzy. I'll give it an A plus actually. No, you know, I'll give it to him. This is a very nice look. John Legend wore all black while Chrissy Teigen was in a bubblegum pink dress. I like this. I like this too. I feel like this is like sort of like the version of the Travis and Courtney couples costume that they want it to be. I'm feeling like a little bit stuck on Chrissy's dress. Like I like the color of it. I'm kind of wondering if I like its volume or not. I think I overall like it though. So I think together I definitely consider them an A. I think separately, John's outfit, if I only saw like John alone, I'd be like, it's nice, it's like snazzy, but it's like not, it doesn't have like a lot of character to it to keep it like interesting. So I think on its own I would give it a B, but to like sort of complement a much more extravagant kind of vibe that Chrissy has, it upgrades it to like an A minus. So I'll give this kind of collectively like an A minus. They could like, there could be more, but like it's still, I still like it personally. Trevor Noah, the host, I think this is definitely like not a good picture of it, because I've seen it like in other lighting, and it's like I do like the shade of pink that he has, and I know that because he's the host, he does have to go with something a little bit more traditional, because it has to be something that like you don't have to change out of basically like all night. It has to be like it has to be like the most grounded look of the night. So the fact that he was still able to insert like an interesting color with it is nice. So I give it, given the context of it, I give it an A. If I saw it kind of like, if he wasn't hosting, I'd probably give it maybe like a B. But because I know that like he's like working with kind of limited options as a host, specifically as like a male host, this is still very nice, and I did like the color quite a bit, and like the cut on the pants is like nice. So Chloe Bailey stepped out with the stunning Valentino gown. I agree, I love this gown quite a bit. I think maybe like, I guess maybe I can't tell from this angle. I think like a sort of more dramatic hairpiece could have elevated the look a bit. And it kind of has like a similar a similar kind of issue I have with just sort of that the kind of like shiny fabric kind of deal. I know that's like not a very like fashion educated kind of term for it, but like, you know, similar to Tiffany's, where you know you do have to worry about balance a bit, and you do have to worry about kind of like overdoing it. But like in this case, I think it works. I like this bit. I'll give it a, well, let me look at the shoes though. Oh yeah, I'll give it an A+. This is cute. It's a good shimmery look. Oh, it's also Tiffany jewelry. That makes sense. Is that all of them? Okay, I know this article. Okay, so we'll go back. So I have seen some of the other ones. That article did not have as many as I was hoping it would. I was kind of hoping it'd be like a full collection of them, but I think that was probably a little ambitious anyway. There were some others that I saw from the night that I don't think there were any. I will say this: there weren't any positive ones that were not featured in that article that I remembered, or not really anyway. There were some negative ones that I wasn't a big fan of. Like, I think Addison Rae's partner. Granted, like, I get that this is like part of his style already. He had like the bright red, like tomato red dyed hair going on. I don't remember his name. I just remember seeing like the. First of all, why is Addison Rae at the Grammys? James Charles was there too, but yeah, they didn't really have my. I mean, James's outfit was like fine. It wasn't like super special or anything. It was pretty, honestly, surprisingly standard. At least like from what I saw of his red carpet look, it was like kind of surprisingly boring, but. Yeah, I don't know why he was invited. Yeah, his outfit, it didn't really do anything for me. It wasn't like super exciting. So it definitely wasn't his Coachella look. Which I'm kind of glad. I don't really need to see James Charles's like ass cheeks again. Yeah, Ben Platt. I feel kind of split about what Ben Platt wore. Hang on, let me pull it up to see. At least for myself, I don't know that I can pull it up on stream without having an issue. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel split about the ruffles that he has like on his like under his tux going on, and then his partner just straight up wore shorts. Is he? Okay, that does remind me though. He's still dating Noah Galvin. Okay, well that's nice for them. I don't know why he wore shorts. Anyway, I guess this is your time to be quirky. Sure, why not? Oh, the tribute wasn't for. I'm stupid. The tribute performance wasn't for the drummer from Foo Fighters. It was for Sondheim, who like did a lot of he's composed like a lot of very big musicals. I just can't think of the names off the top of my head for like writing the songs, I mean. So that makes more sense. I was just like, why are the musical theater girlies like not doing musical theater? That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all like the red carpet looks. I know this is like kind of a weird way to kind of taper off the stream, I guess. It's just I mean, I talked a lot longer than I thought I would. That's kind of always the case though. I thought this would be sort of a shorter night because like comparatively to last Friday, where it was me actively fighting with myself trying to decide who I think will win and everything, and just like battling with what I thought was the best, who I'm like manifesting for. We don't have that here because that was already decided for me. So I just figured it was going to be shorter in that sense, but it turns out this is kind of like roughly the same length. I mean, I guess not entirely, because that was like almost 3 hours. This is probably going to taper off around like, we'll go for like another 10 minutes, I guess, to just sort of wrap up my final thoughts for the Grammys. It seems like out of my friend group, I was the only one that paid attention to them, which is perfectly valid. I had, at this point, a lot of people that I know don't really care about award shows, because, like, why would they? At the end of the day, you stand who you stand. It's nice if they get Grammys, but is it like the end of the world if they don't? Absolutely not. And then because of that, I definitely sound like a weirdo whenever I'm like, I'll text somebody and be like, oh my god, they won. Or it's like, okay. I was surprised to see like a little bit more mixed reactions about the Silk Sonic wins, though, amongst some of the people I've talked to. I personally, we're gonna get into some hot takes. Personally, the album itself was kind of just okay to me. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. Just because, like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, an album that's just kind of fun, and like for fun's sake, and like I know they said it was like sort of just more as like an opportunity to sort of flex on each other, like their musical chops. I think that's like a fun energy, and that's like a fun thing to have on like a project. It's just hard for me to listen to an entire project that's like that. Like, personally, I like story, I like emotional arcs, I mean, personally, I like drama a lot in like pop music. And for me, and I also kind of just like things that maybe like a little bit more low key. And because of that, it's like a very like energetic record. I love the singles on it. It's just hard for me to think about listening to the project from like beginning to end, like consistently, because it just hasn't like stuck in my rotation like as a full album. The songs have. I definitely listen to Skate quite a bit. And I do like Smoking Out the Window more than Leave the Door Open, but I get that, like, for submission's sake, Leave the Door Open was technically the only one that qualified, I think, for this year's Grammys. So that's the one they went with for submissions, which it also makes sense too, because like that song has been out the longest. Most people recognize it at this point. It's also like definitely the safest for radio play in comparison to Smoking Out the Window. But I think because of that, I guess I can kind of see why some people might be ambivalent towards them taking home all of their awards. I personally don't mind it, but again, I think with Record of the Year and Song of the Year, I stand by them winning Record of the Year. I think I might have given Song of the Year to somebody else, but that's just me. Obviously, that's not what the Academy went with. But again, like there were worse choices to go with. Like, if anybody was gonna win, I'm glad it was Silk Sonic. I thought they were very, they had a really good energy on stage too whenever they went up. I know there was one speech where one of the writers, his like mom like recently passed away, and he was able to sort of, I think it was his mom, he was able to sort of remember them like on stage, and I thought that was like a pretty sweet sentiment. And then like I think when you win all 4 of like the categories you're nominated in, like you do get to brag a little bit. So I don't mind them like I guess not being super humble by the end of it, because that's a pretty good feat. Again, I still wish Sour got a little bit more love. I wish Lil Nas X got like any love, to be honest. The fact that he didn't walk home with like any of the things he was nominated for, I do feel bad about. Well, okay, that's probably a strong word. I would have liked Industry Baby to at least win, and also Call Me by Your Name, like for music video, because it's so iconic. But I know that it has like some controversy with it, considering Well, one, I know people were up in arms about like religious imagery being used and the sort of sexual nature of everything, and on top of that, there was a controversy with the cellophane director of photography, with like the music videos being pretty similar in a lot of respects. So like I get that. I don't know that that's enough for me to disqualify it, for example, from the music video category, especially since like I know that it wasn't like Lil Nas X's fault, and they've since like discussed it and everything. It doesn't seem like there's any beef there anymore, but I doubt that was the reason why they chose Freedom, though. Obviously, I do like Freedom's like music video quite a bit. I like that song quite a bit as well by John Batiste. I think the wins he received were well deserved. Proud of the guy. It was brought to my attention that this is the first time a black artist has won Album of the Year in I think 14 years, and that's wild to me. But like when I think back about like the years where like I've like actually paid attention to the Grammys, just like, oh yeah, no, that's right. So that kind of just makes me aware of two things. The biggest thing is just like that black musicians do not get nearly enough respect in the Recording Academy as they deserve. And two, it also makes me feel very, very, very fucking old. That has been like 14 years. I've been watching when was like the first time I like really paid attention to the Grammys? I'm trying to think. I think maybe 2008, but I didn't like consistently keep watching it though. I think the time that I really started caring was maybe around 2013, 2014. It was whatever year like Lorde was like nominated for stuff. I think it was probably around then. And even then I didn't pay attention to it like probably as closely as I would have like this year, for example. It's just because I wasn't making content for it. I will say, like, as stressful as setting up Friday's stream was kind of at the last minute, and just thinking about how logistically I'm going to make everything work, this was a lot of fun to do. I definitely will be considering doing this for a lot of stuff moving forward when it comes to maybe things that I typically overlook, because I still pay attention to the Grammys, but for the most part I would just be like reading up on like who won like on Wikipedia the next day. I wouldn't have been like actively paying attention to it and live tweeting it and sort of messaging everybody if I wasn't doing it this way. So I do think that regardless of like how well this video does and everything related to that, I think this was a good experience for me. It was really nice to be able to feel like I was a part of something, even if like only like 4 or 5 people watch this in the future. I still like that I was able to sort of witness this moment with y'all, and it makes something out of it. And it definitely did increase how invested I was in the whole thing, because what I realized last Friday was like, yeah, I really didn't listen to as much current music in 2021 as I thought I did, which is kind of trippy for me to think about. But it's just like I really did not know a lot of the categories, so that's why I didn't like list as many as I feel like I normally would have. As far as just because I'm seeing your message again now, as far as like ranking the outfits, if I find a good tier ranking list, I might do that at the beginning of next stream, like very quickly, and like maybe my feelings will have changed by then. But if I can't find one that's kind of convenient, I'm just gonna go off of the scores I gave everybody tonight and leave it at that, and not try to like rank it visually that way. But other than that, I still have to watch Moon Knight. That was something that I said I was going to do over the weekend and then cover on Monday, but that was before I got caught up in like the Grammy stuff. So I still need to watch. I still need to watch that. I think I'll probably wait to cover it on Friday if I stream Friday, just because then I can have episode 1 and 2 under my belt. And as far as Wednesday is concerned, someone sent me a tier list for which fictional world out of these you'd like to live in. And it was a good blend of like movies and anime and video games, at least from what I saw, like very briefly. So I might do that because I had a lot of fun doing the Animal Crossing tier list. So that'll probably be my next stream if I can get that set up. But until then, just a friendly reminder, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I already am having a brain fart saying this outro, but I stream on twitch.tv, Girl Next Door Podcast. So feel free to come through and chat. I didn't realize it until like I went on my break and sort of looked at everybody's like messages and like their names, that like I had a couple bots in this chat tonight. I had to ban people for the first time, which is wild. But I mean, I'm just glad it wasn't like a hate raid or something, because I definitely would not know how to like handle that this current time. Like I have like the panic button like already set up, so like it wouldn't be like impossible for me to deal with. But I'm still very new to the whole streaming thing, and it's gonna take some time to get used to it, because I still sort of got a little frazzled before stream because I was running into some audio issues after I thought that I'd figured them out like earlier today. But I'm glad that I had somebody like bring up that the music was loud, because I definitely would not have clocked that. So thank you for that, and until next time, be safe, make smart choices. What was my outro? We're gonna get super meta here. I don't remember what my outro was, except for bye. Do I just say bye? Is that my thing? I read off all my socials and all of that, so that should be good. Super professional. All right, bye.